There we, there we go. We're live. Nobody's on yet, but they will be. They're gonna get
Maybe.
there.
Maybe.
We'll
Oh man.
just keep talking. Then we'll do a little intro here. There's no schedule. There's no
There's
fancy.
no audience.
There's no audience. There's no graphic. But we're having fun, right? How are you, Jason?
I'm good. I'm good. Do you like the show Seinfeld?
What's that? Oh, we have somebody watching.
I think that's just me logged in on my phone over here.
that was me earlier trying to get on this thing. So my computer. This is very interesting for the viewers who will be watching this later. I'm talking to you, Chris Man. But my laptop, as I've said before, does not do StreamYard for some reason. It's janky. So I'm on my wife's iPad here, which is an older iPad, and it takes about 5 minutes for my face to show up on the screen, so it's on the lag. And
No, looks good on this end. I don't see any issues with it. It's
well,
better than before.
let me have another Sprite and tell me then.
Oh God.
But well, we have some people on, so welcome to this very non-vinyl community video.
Trevor? Yeah, that's right, Trevor.
That's right, Trevor, because there's music in Seinfeld because it goes a boom, 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 boom. There should be an RSD 45 of the theme song, but that's for another day. But no, we Jason and I, Jason Arsenault, whichever side you're on.
Yeah.
Because I did a video with Glenn and I pointed because on my camera he was here, but really he was there. So whatever. Yeah, hitch a ride. On 3-inch vinyl. Very good, Trevor.
Come with its own little record player and everything.
That's right. On
we got Al Jolson here.
No, Jason and I, for those that don't know, are very big Seinfeld fans, and we are constantly sending the same 5 jokes to each other and have been now for several years, and we still laugh because nothing else is funny. And we decided to whip up some tasty morsels here, and by morsels I mean talking about
chocolate
some
vodka
episodes of Seinfeld, with not a whole lot else to say about it other than we're just going to talk for however long we want to talk about it and make stupid jokes and references. And feel free in the comments to talk to us about Seinfeld because we don't know who all out there are big Seinfeld fans. Jason, tell me about Seinfeld. What do you think?
Well, I wanted to start by asking you this question. Okay, what kind of a Seinfeld fan are you? Now, are you a guy that just watches the show endlessly? First off, tell us when you started watching it. And then are you just the type of fan that watches the show and just that? Or do you, I think you have, pardon me, books and stuff, and you do the background research and learn more about the show. What are you like as far as Seinfeld fans go?
Well, we should move the stream to your channel. Apparently you're hosting. No, I mean, I think like a lot of people that have watched it from start to finish, which I have. I probably watched it start to finish about 3 times, like in sync.
Today.
Going through it from 1 to they're in jail. Spoiler.
What?
But I'm one of those, like, okay, for example, I have Netflix pulled up with Seinfeld as a recently watched, as you can imagine, and I will just start watching a couple episodes, especially ones that go as the same storyline, like it's the same girlfriend for like 2 episodes, or like a couple of them are 2-parters, like the Cadillac, or Keith Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez.
Pretty boy. No. But no, I mean, I was at my parents' house over the weekend. We had some things. I saw a concert with my mom, and But we don't talk about music here. This isn't about music. Seinfeld was on like TV Land, and I turned it on. Like I'm like, there it is on TV Land. I could obviously go into Netflix and watch it uninterrupted, but I'm like, the easiest option for me is to press channel 48 and go to Seinfeld to see the same, you know, episode that I've seen a million different times, and I'm gonna laugh just as hard every single time.
Yeah.
And I know it doesn't answer your question fully because you asked about 6 questions, and my brain is only so large. Um, but I, what kind of fan? What kind of fan are you? How do you watch? Because you're Mister. You know, you're out there harvesting corn and
No,
going
not
to
at
the
all.
farmers market.
No. Uh, so I would say that I just watch like you do. I'll just grab an episode from time to time, not as frequently as you do. I got into the show. I was started watching the show before it was over. So I would probably jumped in probably around season 7 or 8, 6, 7 or 8 maybe. Still kind of young to get maybe some of the innuendos and the humor, but for the most part, I was on board. Uh, and I loved it so much right away. And this is like pre-DVD or just as like some DVDs were coming out. So I went to enough trouble that I started recording on VHS tape every episode. And
Wow,
my level of nerddom, I hope no one's watching right now, but my level
we got 4.
was so bad, minus me and you, was so bad that when I recorded it and I was watching and I would try to stop to pause for the commercials and do like a really good recording, and I would even write down on a piece of paper what episode it was, and I would even do a synopsis, like handwriting on loose leaf paper. I wish I still had all that. I don't. I don't know how many tapes I filled up. Of course, the
Wow.
show eventually ends, and then eventually DVDs of series start coming out. Incidentally, I never bought them because I knew them off the top of my head, and I see them on syndication all the time. So all that to be said, I just consume whatever I want whenever I want for Seinfeld, and I don't typically go in order anymore. Although I really would like to start one day from the beginning and just kind of gradually move through to the end, but I'll just pick whatever episode and get a cheap laugh off. And every one of them gives me the laugh. The only Seinfeld reading I've done was just his initial book, that Sign Language, which is
Mm,
literally just reading his stand up, which was funny at
yeah,
the time, but I never got into any of the deeper stuff or anything like that, which I would find interesting, but
yeah.
whatever. I'm just happy enough with the show.
I'm just imagining you filming those episodes, and you've got
Oh yeah.
Brody standing over you. You know, it was a masterpiece. It was a work of art.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
play
need more
baseball.
cameras. I'm going to need a camera here and there. Just
Yeah. Look, Jerry wants to do the work. He's dying to do the work. Oh
man.
man.
Okay,
That-
so on that note, so when you select an episode to watch, or maybe the way you selected your episodes for our list here, are you more driven by the storyline, the overarching storyline, or are you kind of drawn into like the offshoot storylines? Oh, like Kramer's got a weird thing this episode, so I'm going in that direction, or like how do you decide which ones you like?
yeah. I know there's a lot of times that I'm like in the mood for like I need like a good Frank Costanza episode, and so like I'm looking up.
Character driven.
A lot of it's character driven. Sometimes I just need something on in the background. Like I mean, there's a lot of times I'll have Seinfeld on, and like I'm playing guitar. And I'm so focused on guitar, like I don't even laugh at the episode because it's just on. But it's like it's one of those comfort shows that's always there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I think I just thought of a quote that I probably said on a music related live stream from that movie High Fidelity, when he's like, I just want something I can ignore. And so it like you said, it's comforting. You just put it on, it's there. You know the show so well that you can kind of cue yourself into where that punchline is about to be, just to see the delivery because it's always so perfectly done, right? But yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean there are times. I mean, if I don't know, like sometimes I want to literally just hear one line, and I'll watch the whole episode for like the one line. I like I want to see Jackie Chiles say something about, taking candy from my
Your
baby.
face is my case.
Like, you look terrible. You think we got a case, Jackie? Yeah. And so stuff like that. Like, I want that. Or, yeah, like obviously, like I was just in New York. So like, when I came back, I'm like, oh,
Oh, right.
I just want to see Tom's Restaurant, well, Monk's. I just want to watch it. Like I was just picking episodes. I'm like, oh, there it is. I stood there. Um,
So, okay, when you go in that restaurant, is it look anything like the show's layout or anything like that?
well, you want to know something? I didn't actually walk inside of it because we
Okay.
were, but I mean, the windows are large and you can look. So I looked inside of it. Um, but I mean, it doesn't look. I mean, they've got like Seinfeld, like a whole wall of like pictures and stuff, and they have like the Kramer like portrait, from the show. Um, and then like I mean, like facing the front door, the left side is where the bar is, kind of like the show. Like you walk in and a couple of bear claws, please. Um, but like I mean, it looks like a little diner, but obviously, like the way that they had the set up was for them to be
Yeah.
facing the front of the camera, and there weren't really any booths like facing the door like that. Actually, the restaurant in the show looks a little bit larger than what the actual restaurant is.
Oh, wow. Okay, because that doesn't look all that big on the show, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't know. There might have been like a dozen booths or something in there, so maybe it's close. I don't know, but I do remember looking inside and seeing one guy at the bar. He just looked ready to go home. It was like he'd been slinging hash browns all day, and covered in grease.
Nice. Okay,
But
let's start talking episodes here. What are you gonna do? Are you just gonna throw one at me and then we'll just what do you got?
yeah, and what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be pulling up stuff on the side here. I've got the Wikipedia, because that's what's so crazy
Yep.
is these episodes, like they're just like one word episodes, like you know
Yes.
uh, like
The
the Fusilli
scofflaw.
Jerry, or the Scofflaw, or the just anything. And it's like you remember that scene, but you forget that there's like there are these three
Yes.
subplots, which is what makes the show so brilliant and so unlike anything that had come before it. You know, Obviously they were inspired by the old people. I mean, the old shows like I Love Lucy, and even though Jerry says in the show, I have never seen an episode of I Love Lucy. That's a deep
Uh,
cut. Um, I'm sorry. Let me gotta pull up the chat here. I'm doing it on an iPad, so it's a little weird. So we saw that, Trevor.
oh.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you. I loathe you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's so
you
good.
are a decrepit piece of crap.
Yeah. You emit a foul and unpleasant odor.
And Kramer's just kind of like,
Newman's like
oh,
nervously saying what he's saying.
who's that back there?
Yeah.
I'm an old man.
Oh
Um,
man.
no, but that's what's so brilliant about the show is that it is the three distinctive storylines that all come together at the end for like this like crazy, almost ridiculous ending that it's like because of one thing, the other thing happened, and it closes off the episode perfectly. It's not like it's something that you need to know later on in the series. It's like those three things happen, and that's it. Like with the wedding invitations, like they buy the invitations. There's it's cheap. There's other things going on, and then that's how it all culminates in Susan licking the bad glue and dying. Spoiler, but yeah, I
Spoiler.
mean, I don't have like, yeah, I don't have anything ranked because like I kept doing it and doing it, and I even like titled this 10 favorite Seinfeld episodes now. Like I could never get, because I kept going through and I'm like, well, two of those three storylines are really good, but one is it's forgettable.
That's just it. Yeah. And like so I have this is the magazine that I bought right after
Yeah,
the show ended.
show your wares.
and then like it just breaks down all the episodes and all these other things, and every episode they give it like a out of 4 stars, they'll rank it. And of course there's a bunch of 4 stars, but there's a couple 1 stars, and like some of them that I liked, there's like a 1 star. I'm like, no, this is bullshit. It's a great, but only a portion of it is what I'm really ranking it for. It's like, oh, this one was really great in my books, but they didn't like it. But like, also, who the hell cares? It's all subjective, right? But
Yeah.
um, like for instance, one that I didn't even put on the list that surprised me whenever I looked it up was the Hamptons. They ranked
Um,
the Hamptons low. That was the ugly baby. That was George's shrinkage episode, and
Lobster.
yeah, the lobster thing. At the very end, they like the critique in the magazine was, oh, we thought that the ending was a little his revenge was a little heartless because she was like not supposed to eat shellfish and he fed her shellfish. It's like whatever. The show's done worse than that, but
Yeah.
anyway, so it just underscores the idea that yeah, like you could have an amazing piece of the episode that is memorable forever and ever, but the rest of it could be kind of a flop, right? But
Yeah, but even like, yeah, I mean, even the flops, I mean, are still solid. I mean,
yeah,
okay,
like
here's the
there's
question for you, because I know we've talked
okay,
about it, but this is for the public, this is for the fans, because we do have 5 people watching, so
Trevor.
it's Trevor and your family there. Um, when did you think? Because I think we talked about this texting, but like, when do you think the show really hit its stride? And then I'll say when I think it hit its
Season
stride.
four. Season four.
Okay.
There was a lot of good season 3 stuff, but I think season 4 and 5 are the strength. And I don't know enough about like TV history, but I'm gonna suggest that it always takes a couple seasons for a show to find its stride, right? You're never
Yeah.
gonna hit it out of the park in the first season. There's probably exceptions to that, I'm sure, but for the most part, it's an arc, right? You get your creativity pattern and you nail it, and then you can only hold on so long before you just run out of just basic originality, and then it starts to collapse. And how you collapse might be a dramatic word. That's really gonna highlight what kind of integrity you have as a show creator or a writer or producer. It's like, and I think I always admired Jerry for sort of saying when they ended the show, I want to end on a high note. I don't want to friggin' peter off
Yeah.
and just become a crappy show. But incident like on that though, like obviously the show started not bad, but started okay, got great, and then got a little less great with
Yeah.
still some dynamite episodes towards the end.
Well, that's what. So, if I agree, season 4 is really where it kicked off. And like you said, season 3. I mean, on my list of the 10 that I chose, I don't have anything. My oldest episodes are season 5. For my 10 that I chose, I did have a couple that made their way. I had a couple of 4s, and then I had 1 2, which the 2 almost made it. But yeah, 4, like when they go to LA, they get Kramer back after the key thing at the end of season 3 where he got mad because he
Yeah,
wouldn't get the keys. Um,
yeah. Looking at the episodes from season 3 right now, the only one that kind of almost made my list was the boyfriend, was Keith Hernandez, because I thought that was just a brilliant episode, like critically, bringing in the JFK thing, whatever else, and the
and
Newman role
Newman,
in that.
yeah,
Newman in that is probably one of the best Newmans, and yeah, and then just I love the humor that really predated by over a decade, like the bro humor, right? Like, the
mm,
bromance and stuff like that. That is comedy now. That was never a joke back then, right? But like
yeah.
Jerry dissecting, like, next thing you're gonna be driving in the airport. I ain't
I'm
driving in
driving to
the
the stairs. Yeah,
airport. Yeah, with every flight of stairs, it was like a level of intimacy that you achieve with your
he's like,
friend.
oh,
Anytime I have a buddy that's moving, I'm like, I wish you were more of a Seinfeld fan so I could just laugh with you about how crazy this is. But
I
anyway,
mean, even when I was moving here, I remember you. I think you made a
yeah,
joke about stairs. I was hoping that you would.
yes.
Um, but no, yeah, I
Uh,
think. I mean, I'll go at like my earliest one was from season 2, and it's the jacket with Elaine's father, like the suede jacket,
yes, yeah,
because he is such a great character.
he
Um,
is.
but he's insane. So like that's why they never invited him back because he was like threatening the cast like off set, and like they're like, ooh, like he stole like a prop knife and was like
Oh my
threatening
God.
people. It was like, we can't invite. He's too unstable. But he goes, you're not going out with my daughter and I like that. That's for damn sure. Like, but it's so good, the Master of the House. But
Yeah.
yeah, season four is where it kicks in. But yeah, I'll allow you, good sir,
Okay.
my guest up there in the great white north. Tell me, just give me an episode. You can rank them, do what you want. Give me an
Okay.
episode.
So I did rank them. Now, I cannot stick to this ranking because I'm sure as we discuss things, I'll realize there should be a change. But I had some bonus ones, but whatever. I'm sure we'll talk about them. But number 10 out of my top 10 was from season 5, episode 82. The opposite. The opposite. So I'm a sucker for a George storyline, and George being the proverbial loser. This is when he wins, and it's so great. I love when he goes up to the counter and he's got the. Is this no? This isn't when he has the toupee, is it? No, that's a different one. I
That's a
think.
different one.
Yeah,
That's with
but
Gary Vogel.
he's goes up to the counter at Monk's and he sees a girl there. Like I forget the exact wording. My name's George. I'm unemployed. I live with my parents. And just the
Yeah.
and the girl looks at, hi, I'm Victoria.
And she like moves the chair with her foot.
Yes. Oh
And
yeah, that
that's when you
oh,
kind of go
that
like,
yeah. It's probably one of my favorite George storylines. Actually, there's a bunch of George storylines here, but I just love the fact that he won, right? Like, all right, here we go. He's finally getting something. No, I'm gonna have tuna on no, what is it, tuna on toast. He's like, I want the opposite of tuna on toast. And then Jerry's like being just an asshole. He's like, oh, actually, salmon would be the opposite.
yeah, because it goes.
He's like just killing George's momentum. That's another thing about this show that's great is how, and I didn't really realize it till they dissected the final episode and all this stuff, but they're assholes. Like they're jerks. They're selfish. Like you fall in love with these characters, but in real life you would never be near them because they're just judgmental losers, right?
Right.
But they're
But
awesome.
what I love about that order too, and what does he say? He goes, and I'll have he's like, not coffee, a cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah. And the waitress is all like, okay, here we go.
That's when he gets hired with the Yankees because Steinbrenner goes, hire this man.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh yeah. I'm just looking at the synopsis now for other things that happened, but Kramer's coffee table book type of stuff is in it. And then of course Elaine kind of crashes and she's like, "Oh, I've become George," because her life starts to fall apart, right?
she's wearing like the jackets and her head, she's like wearing glasses.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much my number 10 is the opposite. I think it's a great George episode.
that is. I do love that because it does set up. That was the season 5 finale, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's
it
because
says
then you
it
got
says the thrill of watching George ride the glorious wave to what must inevitably become a disastrous wipeout. Anyway,
that's so good.
yeah, awesome. Okay,
Um,
you give me an episode. What do you got?
all right, I'm gonna jump to season 8 here,
Okay,
and
what
I'm gonna
episode?
go with the episode "The Package," which is when it's another George storyline, a good one, where he's flirting with the photo booth
Yes.
lady, and she talks about like the mustard on his shirt. He's like she's noticing my shirt because she's looking, and then obviously they get thrown into this whole thing with the guy that works there who's gay, and he ends up sending pictures to George, and because George thinks they're going to the woman,
Oh, that's right.
which is so good. But the best part of that whole thing is the stereo sub story with
Oh,
Kramer and Jerry, where
to
he's
write it
trying to get
off.
postal insurance to write off. And I hope the audience knows what we're talking about. But Jerry essentially, his stereo is finicky, and Kramer's trying to get the refund, and so like he's taking a photo of Jerry like unscrewing something, and
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
ends up
right.
getting blown out proportion. Newman thinks it's Jerry tampering with it to get money for insurance. And so then Newman has this big, thing at the end where he has Jerry and George and these photos in the clicker showing like exhibit A, exhibit. But again, one of the great things about that episode,
I forgot about that.
there's a lot here, is Newman giving the initial interrogation with Jerry, where Newman's under the light, like he's like, a cop.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, pretty hot on these lights, Seinfeld. Pretty hot. And Jerry, actually, I'm quite comfortable
Yeah.
with the root beer.
That's right.
And then Newman goes, "Can I have a sip?" And Jerry kind of goes, "No."
Yeah. I would
Newman's-
say that spiel about writing it off, I would, if we had to do a top 10 of like quotes, that would be in there. I friggin' love that. Do you know what a write off is? No, but they do, and they're the ones writing it off.
It's such a ridiculous storyline. And then again, that's another thing time when Newman says "pretty boy," like he did with Keith Hernandez, because George is like, Jerry says, "Are we through here, Newman?" He goes, "Not so fast, pretty boy."
Oh,
and then he
God.
clicks the thing of the picture that Kramer took of George in his boxers. And then when George sees the other photo, he's just like, "Oh my god!" So
man.
the package from season 8, and then that's also, there's a lot here. Wait a minute. That's also Elaine with the rash. So you have Kramer going in with a scarf. It's Bennett, right? It's Bennett. Dr. Van Nostrum from the clinic. There's a lot in that episode. Yeah. But anyway,
that's good.
That's a great episode. The package from season 8.
The package. I forgot about the interrogation. I just get hung up on the friggin' the write it off part. It steals the whole episode. Okay. The next one I'm going back to season 5, and season 5, episode 73, The Stall.
Very good.
This is the whole share a square thing. What about the driver? But the reason this is on the list, and this is an all-time favorite for me, it was gonna definitely be on the top 10. It's the Tony episode. Tony, and like, yeah, Tony.
You was step off, dude.
Step off, George. And probably my favorite quote of the whole thing is George is so keen on having a one-on-one relationship with this Tony guy, and Kramer horns in on his climate thing, and then George is like, there's too many sandwiches. My absolute favorite line. Too many sandwiches. Like, it's like whatever he could do to make it a bad idea for Kramer to get in on this. And then they're rock climbing, and Kramer's so relaxed, flying all over the place. Yodel, George, yodel.
And George is hugging the cliff.
Yeah, I know you don't like tuna, so I gotta do some salmon salad.
Just toss it down, dude.
Yeah. Let's go.
And then the carabiner comes loose and they're stranded.
Yeah. So for me, it's the square is funny, and the this is also the Yuri Testikov thing where she throws it out the window. Like, again, a great example of the whole colliding storyline stuff. Like, just unreal. Like the creativity. Like I say with like almost any like show, especially comedies, to be at the writer's table or the first read through. Like, I would, if I had money, I'd pay top dollar to be sitting at those tables, especially when like the actors get their first glimpse of it, right? Like, they must know when they're sitting on a gold mine, like, okay, this is going to be a good one, or we'll have to work to make this good or whatever, right? But
again, that shows to how superficial Elaine is, because she's, he falls off the cliff and she doesn't care if he's dead or not. That's his face.
Yes, actually, I misquoted there. I read the wrong thing. The Yuri Testikov thing is in another episode that we'll talk about later. But Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, the Mimbo aspect of it is why it's on the list. 100%. Yeah,
It's all, and just to imagine George, who's not a rock climbing type at all, putting himself out there to go rock climbing with this dude.
yeah. Oh yeah, and he sits at the table with Tony. He's like a little schoolgirl, and he
The
turns
hat.
his hat around.
He's so cool.
He's so cool. I've known a cool guy
And
before.
Tony's in Elaine's apartment, head to toe bandages, and George
Yeah,
hands the comic books, and Tony kind of goes,
yeah. Nice catch. That is a good little detail. Yeah, okay, I'll take these. Yeah.
yeah.
Step.
Oh
He
man.
says, "Step off, George. It's time to step
Yeah. Oh,
off."
George. And he goes, yeah. And she hands him the trash.
Yeah.
He has one last glimmer of hope.
I almost wish he came back in a later episode for something like just for George to kind of go, like just to
Oh, he would
like
have
him
been great
again.
in the finale.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
because George would have like gotten starstruck, sitting there, and he's like, George and Kramer, messed up my face. Like he's still on bandages, like 9 years later.
Yes.
That would
Yeah,
have been good.
that would have been great. So much potential there. Like, and this is like an episode according to this, this whoever made this magazine. That's a 2 out of 4 star. I'm like, man, this is one of my favorite episodes.
There's some solid subplots,
Yeah.
but all right.
Okay, go
Well,
for it.
jump to the last season, which gets a lot of crap, but it's got some of the biggest episodes,
I
including
agree.
this one, which this could very well be on your list too.
Probably
I,
is.
I had to go with the strike, which is the Festivus episode. There's it's season 9, episode 10.
Yeah.
Um, but again, so much going on in this one. Obviously, you have the whole Festivus, which is the Frank Costanza plot, um, where he doesn't celebrate Christmas. He made up his own holiday. He's got a big metal pole, and I love when they all find out that, because George is like, it's a stupid holiday that my dad made up, and then Elaine goes, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. And then he's like, embrace your heritage, George. Like Frank comes in holding the pole into
Oh
the coffee
God.
shop. But you have that. Then you have Kramer going back to J&J Bagels. He's been on strike for however many years, and then he goes, "The strike is over. I'm going back to work." And then it was just because the minimum wage went up, which is what they were demanding. 15 years
Yes.
prior. He's like, "I believe that's the minimum wage."
It's just funny that this is the last season, and he's like, "I'm going back to work," and no one knows where the hell he was working.
You worked?
Yes. Took you 9 years to learn about this in his history. But
One of
things
the
like Bryan Cranston Watley's in this episode, right? Like, there's
Yeah,
so many good things. Oh man.
but one of the
Yeah.
gems in that too is when he goes back to the shop and like he's like, it's like, yeah, Kramer, I remember you. And he's like, what did he say? He's like, I thought you might have gotten a job like the other guys, when like he's the bagel owner. Yeah, it was. But one of the gems of that is like he like invites Kramer to come back to work for the holidays, and he's like, Kramer's like, what's that? And he's like, that's a oatmeal raisin. And Kramer's holding it. He's like, I
Oh.
never thought I'd see the day. But I know one of your favorite, parts of this episode. I mean, you also got Jerry dating the Two-Face that he meets at Watley's party, which is the lady who looks good half the time, and
Yeah.
then she looks horrible the other time. And it's just a hilarious thing that only they could think of. But then you have, Elaine going to the off betting place,
Yeah.
which is one of your favorite scenes.
That's probably one of my favorite, I would say top 5 for sure, Elaine storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Elaine
is the best.
Bennis.
Elaine Bennis. They're so greasy. Oh man, those guys they were perfectly cast, and the hair and makeup, whatever, like the wardrobe, they couldn't have done those guys any better. And they all go to George's parents' place. How the hell do you write that shit?
Another
God.
Festivus miracle.
Yes, it's a Festivus miracle.
But then it's one of those that plays off of the Slicer episode, which might come up later in the
Yes.
same season, because you have
Oh,
Kruger
Dr. Van
there,
Nostrand.
who is George's boss. Yeah, and you have Kramer show up, and he's like Dr. Van Nostrand, right? That's right. Like he's still
I think
playing the
it's
part
great. It's so great that Kramer rolls into that role of like, yes, that's right. Like
to
you would have
protect.
thought Kramer could have been an idiot, but no, he remembered and he did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like there's the other episode. We're gonna be jumping around here, but like where he sells off his stories to Peterman, and then a few episodes later they bring it up, and he's like, "It sounds vaguely familiar." So like, how did he remember that?
Okay, we'll take a pause here, and this brings up something I wanted to mention. I was gonna ask about like, characters arcs throughout the show and things like that. And there's a great example. Like I don't do a lot of background research, but somewhere in an interview somewhere I saw Michael Richards talk about Kramer and how he developed the character. And it was such a wicked thing that he said. And he basically, I'm paraphrasing, he said, look, when I started doing Kramer, Kramer was an idiot. And then over
Yeah,
time, it had evolved that Kramer thought he was dumb, but then he thought he was smarter and more clever than everyone else. Like, what a friggin' like wicked thing to experiment with, right? Like, and so every character obviously on a show has, an arc and they develop themselves, but Kramer's was just so perfectly expressed. Like, I'm an idiot.
yeah,
No, I'm going to be smarter than these people. Look at all my schemes. I'm going to build levels,
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah,
Well, no, the bet's
Festivus,
off.
the strike, the Festivus episode. I don't know why I didn't have this on here, but yeah, basically that when they all come together at the stanzas at the end, or the betting guys, Elaine Bennett.
Charlie here. He's a man.
He's I'm a man.
He's got like that nasty like mullet looking thing.
Yes.
But this also got denim vest at the beginning. The guy that's like hitting on
Yeah.
Elaine. But
Yeah.
it's also got the great line, sweet fancy Moses.
Yes. There's a lot in that one. And again, last season they still were, well, in my opinion, hitting
And
out of
is
the
that
park.
is that the episode too? And we'll jump to you. I know we've got a few to go through here. But is that when they kind of they shoot back real quick to like George's like home videos of like him with his parents, and
Yeah.
is that the same episode where
Well, I think
they're
it's
like
in the
blow out the
background.
candles?
He's listening. There's like an audible clip of them talking about Festivus or something like that, and
Yeah, he's
or
like, I don't
talking.
want. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it
He's
is.
like, I don't want to fight him. Wrestle your father.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another episode that I'm thinking of. But yeah, it's always good when they talk about George's childhood. But anyway, that's only
Yeah.
2 episodes I've talked about. So the strike, there's a ton there,
Yeah.
and
Oh
the human
man.
fund.
The human fund, yes, which is great. And any time that I can give a Christmas gift or a card to someone who remotely knows Seinfeld,
Yeah,
I'll put something about the human fund on it for sure.
busted cold.
Yeah. Oh man.
Nice little burp there to ease the
Yep.
tension.
You're welcome
Yeah.
for our 2 viewers. Okay. The Muffin Tops.
Yes.
Season 8, The Muffin Tops. Now, at first I was like, I didn't remember what the other plots were, but when I was reading this through, and then I remembered about the Peterman reality tour, the first thing that came to mind was 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 Kramer like, you must have been borrowing something from Jerry's apartment. He's like, where are you going? I got to go hose the puke off the bus.
Yeah.
So the Peterman reality tour, the fact that like, and then just like the minutia, the small things, like as he's doing the reality tour, he thinks it's a prudent idea to just take a bunch of garbage muffin tops with him. He's pulling over during the tour. People are paying for the tour, and he's going to run these errands.
What is Jerry says? He says it sounds like it's like $35 for a Kit Kat or like a Snickers bar and a whatever he says, like the snacks that he gives.
Yeah. And the subplot there that didn't really matter. George happily plays the out of towner after being mistaken by a tourist. I don't remember much about that. For me, it was all about the Peterman reality thing. It is a good Elaine episode with the muffin tops and that old boss of hers. It's kind of cool that he comes back, Mr. Littman or whatever, right?
Littman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he stole her idea, right?
Yep. That's right. Oh, these ideas everywhere. They're floating in the air. Yeah. And
It's also one of
and
the
the Peterman reality tour was a spoof off of a Seinfeld reality tour in New York operated by the real life Kenny Kramer. So
oh
he was doing something like this, and they must have found out and paid homage to it through
oh that's
this. But
awesome.
yeah. So anyway, that's oh yeah, and the Jerry thing is when the girl doesn't like body hair, so he shaves himself, and then it kind of ends on a weird note where he's like scratching himself in the moonlight and like a
It's like
werewolf or some shit.
Wolfman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But yeah.
one of the good things about that episode, it's got one of the best endings ever, where Newman shows up in like it's like this like high
Oh yes,
speed
that's
car,
right. The cleaner.
and they're
That's
he's
right.
like new car, it's a rental. And then he says, yeah, he goes in the back and he's got the suitcase and he opens it.
The milk.
It's like pints of milk, and he starts eating it. And he's like,
Yeah,
like
he's
it's
got a lot of
just
work. You got a lot of work to do.
it's
Yeah,
so dry.
yeah, yeah. So that's one of my favorites. All about that Peterman reality tour. All right, go for it. What else you got there?
All right, this one often runs in contention as being my number one. Um, and this is from season 7. It's episode 10. It's the gum,
Ha!
which
I almost put that on there.
I absolutely love everything. This is one of those episodes that perfectly it just all comes together so well at the end. You have Lloyd Braun, and like I think it's his second appearance, but the first time with this particular actor, Matt McCoy.
Yes.
Um, but this is also, I mean, so you have Lloyd, who's come out of like, he broke down because of the Dinkins campaign,
Yep.
which was the non-fat yogurt, where it all fell apart because the city was operating non-fat yogurt, even though it had fat in it. It's
Yep.
ridiculous. But then Kramer's trying to like refurbish this old like independent theater, the Alex. Hi, Alex. And I, it's so good because he says, he's like, he's taking the tour through. He's like, there are renovations in 1935, 40, 43. And then he
Making it
says,
up.
and then he goes like 1980 to the present day.
Oh man. Yeah, and
um,
he's like the fact that Kramer like takes like has to sort of take him under his wing. He like takes ownership of him and like
you're not crazy.
yeah, yeah. Yes. What are you talking about? It's a perfectly sane food to eat.
He goes,
One hot dog.
he
And
hits
the guy
that.
that working the counter is like, okay.
He's reading the magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
And how was he paying that guy?
Yeah, yeah. Oh
And
man.
but the great thing is, with that you have Jerry, who has to lie with the
Yes.
glasses so that Lloyd doesn't think he's crazy, and then you have George dealing with Pop from the old neighborhood, who's
Yeah.
also going through a mental decline. And so his daughter is seeing George on the street, and she's like, I've seen the signs, I know what it looks like.
I've seen the
And he's like,
signs.
he's
That's
wearing the
right.
glasses to full Lloyd Braun.
Yeah.
And
You're
Jerry's
right.
like,
This is a brilliant episode. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
again, there's a lot there. The thing with Elaine, she's trying to avoid Lloyd because they dated during the non-fat yogurt episode.
Yeah.
But then she's like, like her button comes undone during the movie. She gets like the guy like accidentally hoses her on the street, and so like
After hosing Kramer's puke off because he ate the stupid hot dog
it's an interesting texture.
texture.
She because she goes up to the police officer and she's like, the button's undone, and she's like, can you tell this guy to stop, hosing the sidewalk? And he's like, lady, you sold me.
Yeah.
But
Man.
again, if we were doing favorite quotes, this is one that I quote often. It's Kramer at the end. He goes, look, honey, the Alex is a family theater, not one of your swing joints.
Swing joints.
It's such a good line. And then they find the button from her and Jerry are in the front row.
What a
Popcorn.
spanking button!
He's like, my goodness. He's like the old owner of the theater that Kramer bought it from. And he finds this like ivory button. My goodness, what a spanking button!
Spanking.
And then
how did I not include that one? Oh,
the gum is
man.
the gum is such a small part of that episode too.
It
Because
is.
Jerry's
It
wearing
is.
the
Why is
stupid
it called the
glasses,
gum?
and he
Oh,
hands him
God.
$100 bill in Chinatown to
Yeah.
buy
Am
the
I
gum.
crazy, or is that a lot of gum?
Yes, it's a lot of gum. And again, I'll finish this. I'll finish here. Another great line is Kramer and Lloyd and Jerry in the apartment chewing the gum, and Kramer says, "This is what the holidays are all about." Just a few buddies sitting around chewing gum.
That's pretty good line. Damn. Nice job. Good episode.
I gotta stop. There's some solid stuff here.
Okay. And
so this is your fourth.
So my episode that follows actually follows that episode. It's the very next one. It's called The Rye. The Marble Rye episode, season 7.
That almost made the list.
Man, like I don't know where to begin with that. Like the idea of a couple when the parents meet, like the tension, like what a great depiction of that, right? And like George completely worked up beforehand. And, all right, let's not get into panic mode. He's just unreal. And then he's at the table and he's trying to control everything, right? And like the parents are talking and he's policing it, and he's like worried that her parents think his parents are idiots. So he knows it's a chicken or whatever they're talking about, like the chicken and
and the rooster.
That's perverse.
Yeah, Frank is so good.
Yeah, and then like all the other stuff too. Like it's such a huge episode. Like they take the bread back with, they take their bread home with them. They re-gift it or whatever.
Out of spite.
Out of spite. And then there's Rusty, the horse and carriage thing, and the beefarino. Oh, so if it's the beefarino, then I forgot about this. This episode starts with Kramer going to the Price Club at the time.
Yeah.
And just the car completely loaded up, and then Jerry have to have car trouble because it was like a pizza underneath the hood of the car or something like that. Like
he tells Newman, he's like, "That's where I put it," or something.
Yeah, and just Jerry dissecting the Price Club stuff. Look at this can of tuna, Starkist tuna, Jerry. Most tuna don't make their cut. Those are Lindsay olives, Jerry. There's so much there, and even Elaine's storyline is great. That's what is that the saxophone player? Is that the one?
Oh yeah, Hot and Heavy.
Hot and Heavy. Yeah, that was good too. Yeah, John Germain. He doesn't do everything. Yeah. Yeah, jumbo cans of beefarino to the horse. Oh man, there's so much there. But you gotta sing the
jingle where he's eating the.
I'm so keen on beefarino.
Such a wonderful cuisine, built for king
and queen. But and then of course the Marble Rye itself, like the friggin' thing out the window. I've never hooked a rye before. It's just like it's actually kind of sweet that he goes out of his way to help his buddy on that level. I don't know. I guess I'd do that for you.
He steals from the old bag. Yeah.
Yes. And then they bring that back later, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. She comes back a couple episodes in. 2 episodes later, she comes back in, I think. My God.
One of the best lines of Kramer being proud of himself is in that episode where he's got one of the first, hansom cab tours. He's like, here we go through Central Park, and Central Park was invented by Joe Capitone so that the Union Army could fight on grass or practice on grass. And he kind of goes, yeah.
Yeah. Just making stuff up as he goes. Oh, man. What a freaking show.
But it's so good because Jerry is so proud. When he finally steals the bread, he comes around the corner, and George is like this. And Jerry, raises the bread up, and then, the cab is coming back, and George just goes, just frantic to get Jerry to hide because they're coming back.
God.
Oh, it's so good.
That's
what do you feed this animal?
Yeah.
Rusty.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think the six of them at the dinner table. Again, to be behind the scenes, to see how that kind of played out, and just to sit there and watch them all, man, what a joy that would have been. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
It's so
What do you
good.
got there?
All right, I'm still sticking to. I'm still in the last 3 seasons here because it was
Yep.
very hard because these storylines were just so ridiculous and they brought them. I just love it. So I'm gonna go season 8, episode 8, the chicken roaster,
Good.
because it's ridiculous that a Kenny Rogers Roasters sets up shop across the street from the apartment, blinds Kramer because he's got like the red neon light coming through. He has to switch apartments, never understanding fully why they can't just stay in the apartment together.
Yeah, yeah.
um, and then
And we know they do live together in another episode.
we do. They have to get to bed.
Yeah.
Um, but Kramer's going off on the chicken, keeping him awake and everything, and he comes into Jerry's apartment because his rods and cones are all out of whack.
Yes. Oh
And he drinks
man.
the tomato juice. He's like, I thought it was milk. Uh, but again, the storyline, because Jerry, he meets up with an old college buddy. What was like? They're like, I just knew you through Moochie.
He like basically gets him fired. It's
He's
hilarious.
He's like, He's like, I've got a big meeting. Knock it off. It's me. He's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, gets fired from his job at an investment firm. God almighty.
And he's like, that must have been a pretty important meeting, right? And he's like, yeah. And then he ends up being the manager at Kenny Rogers, or the shift lead, whatever he is. He's like, assistant manager.
Yes, it wasn't even the top dog. Yeah, I think my favorite part of that is when Jerry is in bed in Kramer's, and the whole like, oh, Mr. Marbles. Yes.
Which Michael Richards was very complimentary of Jerry. He said that was some of Jerry's best acting when Jerry comes in and becomes Kramer, because he like comes in, his hair is all over the place. He's like, it's driving me insane.
Yeah.
But one of Jerry's favorite Michael Richards parts is when he has to go back to his apartment and he opens Jerry's door and just goes completely back.
Yeah.
Because of the light.
Yeah.
But again, the Elaine storyline is she's getting audited by the Peterman because she's charging everything. She gets the sable hat.
Oh, right.
Which Jerry ends up with at the end at Kenny Rogers. He's like, man, is it cold out or what? And he's like, that can't be good for business. And Jerry said, or the guy says, that can't be good for anybody.
Yeah.
But again, another top 10 line in this episode for me. Well, there's two. One is, bad chicken, mess you up.
Yeah.
He's like protesting like the 60s, taking it to the streets.
Yes.
But when at the end, when Newman is, because Kramer becomes addicted to it, and Newman's doing it for him in secret, and he catches Newman. He's like, you wouldn't eat broccoli if it was deep fried in chocolate sauce. He's like, I happen to love broccoli.
Vile weed.
Yeah, the vile weed. He takes a bite and he says, honey mustard. And the guy has it ready for him.
Yeah.
And he shots it.
Slaps the table.
And then he kind of goes and walks away. But that's just such a great episode because Peterman, he goes out to Burma in that episode as well, because that's where he's like, but I'll have to see this hat.
Yeah. I forgot about the bad chicken mess you up. That would be my favorite line for that episode.
He's got the sign.
Bad chicken mess you up.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
But yeah, chicken roaster, that's one of these that I like.
Yep. Oh man. Okay.
All right.
Season 9. We're going to season 9 now. And this would be the Serenity Now.
Yes.
I think that I don't know if this is not quite top 5, but it could easily be the Screen Door and the Anytown USA component to this just kills it every time. I will put this episode on in a heartbeat anytime I have a chance. There's that other plot line with Jerry and the hello and all that. Oh, no, that's the voice. Sorry, that's the previous episode.
Yeah.
But this is another Lloyd Braun thing, right? And and this is when they're selling computers, and and Lloyd going to George, where George's like, "Yeah, you went crazy. What do you know?" He's like, "Well, what do you think made me that way, or what do you think sent me there?" Right? Like
Right.
highlighting the fact that the Serenity now doesn't work, and the eventual huge breakdown of Kramer throwing the computers and just freaking out. And then George is like telling him how much it costs. And Kramer's like, I owe you. Just like, oh, I owe you one. Yeah. But the best part, he goes into his apartment and he hits the wind chime on the way in. And he's like looking
He's like,
back from the
oh.
reaction. Look how cute and adorable I am, kind of thing.
And then isn't that also he's closing the door? He says, "Y'all come back now. Are you here?" And
Yeah,
then
that's right.
and they shut the door
Oh man.
because then Kramer's going crazy outside of his apartment because he's going
Yeah.
Serenity now, Serenity now, and
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
that's right.
kids
He's like rocking in the chair, Serenity now, Serenity
with the
now.
silly string.
And the kids did some redecorating.
Is that another one where he says "mama" when he gets like
Hoochie
bombarded with
Mama,
the
the
Hoochie
password.
Mama's but like when Kramer gets sprayed because he always like says "mama" when he's like
Oh
getting
god.
beat up or whatever. But yeah, Hoochie Mama is what Frank turns to at the end.
Yeah, and that's
And
where
then,
Jerry tries to get emotional, and then he tries to sort of propose to Elaine. Then he gets snapped out of it, and Elaine's all in, and yeah, it's kind of a back and forth there. But yes, so that was a big one for me. The Serenity now. And of course, it's Frank. It's a great Frank episode for that reason.
yeah.
But like the selling computers thing itself is also hilarious because like George is freaking out. Want to buy a computer? No. Why? And he just like yells at them on the phone. And then like Lloyd Brown's phone's not even plugged in.
That's so
Anyway,
good.
it's a good one. Yeah.
Poor Lloyd.
Anyway, that's where I'm at.
All right, let me go earlier than what I've been talking about. I'm gonna go season 5, episode 5, and I'm gonna go with the Briss
Oh,
because
okay.
I absolutely love the guy that plays the Moyle. And this is one of those episodes where it's like, this is also the Pig Man. So like
Yeah.
there's a couple of things here. Jerry and Elaine are becoming godparents to their friend's kid. And then Jerry does the terrible Godfather impression, which is pretty funny. Kramer's walking around the hospital like for some reason like stealing people's food. That's what he's just walking around a patient's rooms like taking bread, and you hear this like low like oinking sound. He just decides to pull the curtain back, and he's like, that's that initial disgust of when he sees the guy. He's like, oh, it's a big man, and runs down the hall.
Oh
And
man.
then just goes in this whole thing about it being, he was a half pig, half man, and then like talking like the government is making like a pig army of mutant.
It's a good runaway Kramer episode, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, he's so out of it. And then George, one of his best lines, just so matter of fact, he's like, you know something? I wouldn't mind a few of these pig men. Suddenly, a few of these pig men walking around, I don't look so bad.
Yeah, yeah, yes. George, that's when the person jumps and dies on his car or whatever, right? Does the suicide jump
He's
on his
trying to get
car?
insurance.
And he's arguing with the hospital that they're liable and all this. Like that's just a great George moment. Like someone
Yeah.
else, like just heartless, kind of typical heartless
My
stuff, right?
car.
Yes, because it was the perfect parking space.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But
brilliant.
no, I mean, but then the Moyle, Shaky the Moyle comes up because Elaine finds him in like the yellow pages or the white pages, and he he's just like, could you have taken me through a more dangerous side of town? I nearly had a heart attack. But just like his like whole scene, he's just go 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 the whole time when they're doing the Briss,
Yeah,
and he talks
he's
about
batting
his,
100. He's freaking killing it. Yeah.
and he's like, did you have to put the glass on the very edge of the table?
Yeah.
Because he's like,
Yeah.
it could fall. Like they go deeper, deeper into the fibers. It's so good.
Oh man.
We got a
Oh,
quick question here. Brandon asks, "Are you a fan of Curb?" I've never watched a full episode of Curb. believe
Okay.
it or not.
Yeah, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't seen the entire season. What I've seen, I actually love it a lot. And shamefully, I haven't actually watched the season where they do the Seinfeld stuff, which is
Yeah.
what everyone that finds out I'm a Seinfeld nerd, they're like, "Well, you must love that episode of that season of Curb." And I know I would. I just have to sit down and watch it. But yeah, Curb is brilliant. Like Curb is a freaking amazing show. Um, Larry David, my God, like that's a guy that's just like I question whether that's like his Curb character, if that's him actually in real life, if he's just like that, because he seems like a guy that you could only stand to be around for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, hilarious stuff. What I've seen, not all of it though. I know I
That's
need
me
to get on
too.
that.
Everything that I've seen, it looks great.
Yeah,
I've never had access to like HBO, basic cable around these parts.
yeah. That was
But
my hold off for a while too. Yeah, maybe
yeah,
someday.
but all right.
Um, okay, so we did the Serenity now. We did the Moil. Okay, and this one I knew right away was going to be on here. I love this episode. I think this really, like every episode is kind of catered around some of Jerry's stand-up, but this one in particular has some points on it. And that's episode season 4, and that is the airport. So
Uh,
I friggin' love the airport pickup. I love, and every time I go to the airport, whether I'm traveling or picking someone up, I'm like, this is the episode that comes to mind. It's like perfect airport pickup, and Kramer and George running through the airport, and Kramer and Jerry and Elaine running through the airport, and just not literally running correctly. And
yeah.
but then Jerry on the first class and Elaine trying to get in. That's another great Elaine line storyline for sure. Is how she feels so distraught and like, we should aim for society without classes, like, you know, but she freaks out, and then Jerry and his supermodel girlfriend kind of like wake up. They're like, "What's all this ruckus?" And then
Yeah.
the
What is going on
stewardess
back there?
explains, and there should be really something more than a curtain there. And anyway, the first class, and coach humor is spot on. The airport pickup stuff is great. The Time magazine thing with and George getting caught in the plane. Like this is all like pre 9/11, so
But you
everyone
are
can come and go
Blanche.
on the plane. But yeah,
You are in these shackles.
yeah, yeah, that's right. So yeah, and then like yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing more to say on that. It's just so freaking good.
I love the
Oh yeah,
George reaction when he sees the guy in the bathroom, like that initial, like just fear, like wow.
yeah, yes, yeah. And yeah, they send Elaine's bags to Honolulu because she's such a bitch to the freaking the bag handler guy. Yeah.
Is that when Kramer finds the guy that was his old roommate and he's trying to get money from him?
Yes. Yes. What's the name of the guy without looking here?
Because
Grossman.
Kramer, he's like, you remember me?
Grossman. Yeah. Remember me? Yeah. Yeah. Grossman. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. Oh man.
Uh,
Yeah. So
that's a good.
that's one of my favorites for sure. Every time that's on, I'll watch that. The airport. Yep.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Again, another one that often makes the list as like a viewer's choice favorite, but it's hard for me just to leave it off because we're trying to be hip and be like, let's go to the deep cuts. But
Yep.
funny enough, this is the episode just before the Briss. So it's season 5, episode 4, the sniffing accountant.
I almost put that on. Yeah.
I had to put it on there again. It became like a meme a few years ago of Kramer with the cigarette and the beer. Here's the feeling good all the time.
I say that all the
Um,
time.
but it's so good. They think that their accountant has a drug problem, and they try to call him, and they're like, he just made a trip to South America, and they're like, that's it, he's doing drugs.
What kind of snowblower did you get us mixed up with?
And I hate because he's such a dude that you want to hate because like
Yeah.
they ask like how's my money doing? He's like still green, and then he's like he's just like this like stupid joke, and then she's like, what? She says something about like his jacket. And he's like, you like that or something like really like
Yeah,
pompous.
that's right. He does.
He's got that
Like,
nasty like long like hair, but it's
oh
like
yeah,
thinning.
yeah.
But
He's cast perfectly for the role. That's for sure.
Barry
Yeah,
Prophet is the character's name.
yeah,
But somehow Newman is also involved with them too, and
yeah.
they get the sting operation of him and Newman and Kramer in the van,
Yeah.
And
What
so
kind of,
Kramer goes
yeah.
in one of his classic disguises with the sweater. But Newman and Jerry, he's like, do you need me to go? And he's like, do you need me to go? And he's like, no, I need you to stay in case I need. But he's like, in case I
Oh
need you to
yeah.
get me a soda. He's
Yeah.
drinking the coffee,
Yeah.
and then they
Feels
have
like
this whole argument.
feels like a Tuesday. Tuesday has no feel. Yes.
Tuesday has a feel. Monday has a feel.
Friday has a feel. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
But
they
yeah,
get in an argument about dental floss versus tape.
yes.
And Newman's like Kramer, like Jerry goes as
Oh
far
yeah,
as
he
like
puts
give
it on
him
the
floss. He's like, no, I like the tape, and he puts it on the dash, and Jerry just
uh,
goes
I'm hip.
hip to what?
The whole scene.
But again, another great line.
Uh,
Like did he use any slang? Did he say the word yo?
man.
Oh
He
man,
used the word
man.
he used the word man. Yeah. I
He
would
goes hit.
say that is that like top five Kramer physical comedy moments? Gotta be.
Yes, because he's at the bar and
And
the
drinking with the
bartender
cigarette.
he lifts the thing up and it hits
Oh
him in the
yeah,
head first,
that's right.
and then he immediately goes, "I'll have a beer, Charlie," and then he's like, "What does
Name's
he say? Like
Mitch.
the name's Mitch." He's like, "Yeah, I like to have a beer or two. In fact, I like to do a lot of things."
Yeah, that's right. He's trying to segue so hard into the conversation.
Hey,
I
don't take
forgot
an
about
offense,
that beer, Charlie. The name's Mitch.
but when I come back, I'm sitting over there. Whatever turns you on.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so, and then and then he like takes a photo of him on the toilet, and then like that shows up later where him and Newman are like putting the letter
They put it
together,
in the card.
and they're giggling. He does that, and that's also the felt your material
Yeah, the bra
thing.
salesman thing. Yeah,
Um, so
hooks you
like that's
for.
so good with like um, you know, uh, like he almost loses his job for giving George an opportunity at the job because he touches Mr. Garmon's material.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Who is this little weasel?" It's George Costanza.
Oh God.
But
Yeah.
no, yeah, I
That.
would say
Oh
that's a
man.
top Kramer episode for sure.
Yeah, I would think that him drinking and smoking at the same time is probably a fan favorite, top five Kramer physical comedy moment. Like that is unreal. The
Because
glasses that he's wearing is hilarious.
well, because he turns a cigarette around one time too, and he
Yeah,
puts it in the wrong way.
yeah, it's so fast. I'm like, God almighty, how does this guy do it?
uh, and
Okay.
then like the Elaine thing is the whole
Oh
like
yeah, what is the Elaine?
exclamation point. Like she breaks up with the guy because he didn't write the. It's Jake
Oh,
Jarmel.
I actually love that
Um,
the line like when they're like when she's it's another way to brilliantly tie it all together. They're writing a letter and they're like double
double
exclamation
exclamation
point.
point.
Yeah, she's just like rolling
But
eyes.
also,
Uh,
real quick, there's also that time too. But it's a great Kramer and Newman interaction where they're like, maybe we could become spies, and then
like oh yeah.
Newman's like, you want to like little kids.
Yeah.
But
Oh
anyway,
man.
the sniffing account.
That's good. That's a good one. Yeah, it was on my short list. Okay, the next one's obvious one. It is probably the most notoriously famous episode, but it deserves to be. It is unreal. It is original. It is the contest from season four.
Mm,
I don't know. Like, there's not much to say about it. Everyone's seen it that knows Seinfeld. It is just absolutely brilliant. It tackles something that's probably never been tackled in TV before. That's for sure at this point.
yeah.
Um, but there is, and it's funny that it came up the other day. I don't remember if I texted you or I sent you a voice note on this, but somehow I read that George's mom, she's in the hospital because she caught him, right? And then you got that curtain in the background with the two women having the sponge
The
bath
sponge
or
bath.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so, George, I'm hungry. And so George is like, here, have a Tic Tac. And he throws the Tic Tacs at her. That wasn't scripted. And so and I guess like there's a quote somewhere that says that she just couldn't stop laughing. I don't know if they had to do multiple takes or what, but she laughed after the fact. But it was just something he had on him and he threw it at her. And it was just so freaking perfect, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here
Wow.
you go, mom. Like something to that effect that it was just that like spontaneity was just it just was gold.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it says it right here. Jason just happened to have a box of Tic Tacs in his pocket and threw them on the bed. I just looked at it and laughed for half an hour. Like, I love that stuff. For how much I enjoy the background, I actually should be reading more about it, but all those little bits are pretty funny. But the whole Master of Domain thing, like, it's freaking brilliant. You know, Kramer, I'm out within like minutes. You know, the whole JFK Jr. thing, and yeah,
And then they show
there's
them
a lot.
sleeping like every couple of
Yes,
minutes.
it's brilliant. It's so well done. Anyway, so that's good for that one. Yeah,
What's
go
also
ahead.
cool is they bring back the whole like the sponge bath thing, but like when George thinks he might be gay, it's the two
Yes,
men.
yes, yes. I actually, I'll say right now that on my short list, the outing was on there. The outing episode that was on there. Not that there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna go again. Another thing that kind of became a theme throughout the show of George talking in the third person, the Jimmy
Yeah, that's
from
on my
season
short list.
6, episode 19. Again, another Watley episode. You have the
Watley's awesome,
whole.
man.
There's so much to unpack in this one. This is when Jerry like doesn't understand like what's going on at Watley's office. He thinks there's some like some swapping of nurses during procedures, and like there's some like adult magazines, and he's
So
just
you, yeah, the quote from the episode. So you were violated by two people while you were under the gas. So what? You're single. Like talk about something that doesn't quite age well. Like,
no, not at all, because he's like coming
yeah.
to and it's like blurry and they're like buttoning their shirts, and it's terrible. But again, another great Kramer line is he's like there's no kids. He's like so I don't have to watch my language. And Jerry says, do you
Oh
find you
yeah.
use a lot of foul language when you go to the dentist? He's like, oh, when I'm under, I let the expletives fly.
Yeah. Oh God.
But
Yeah, and
again, this
that's
this whole episode would not fly today
this
because
the Mel Torme.
the Mel Torme, because Kramer's having the procedure,
Yeah.
because he has a couple like was he had like a crown put in or something,
Yeah.
and he's got the numbing, and so it's this whole storyline that I won't get into too much on YouTube, but just like he ends up like getting punched later by this guy named Jimmy, who they met like at the Y playing basketball, and he's some guy that says he calls himself Jimmy. He's like Jimmy likes what he sees, and like
Yeah.
it confuses Elaine, which is another great Elaine subplot to incorporate Jimmy, because she thinks
Yeah.
she's gonna date somebody else, but it's really him saying that he likes her.
Yep.
And Kramer goes to the fun drive with the Mel Torme as a special guest and sings "When You're Smiling."
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's bad today. Today's standards, yeah, they wouldn't be able to air that, but
But I
at the
love
time,
they have the shoes, because Jimmy has the shoes that he says he's like a salesman, and so then
yeah.
he gets hurt because Kramer makes him slip because of the water,
Oh right.
because of his
That's
numbing.
right. Ah,
And so George has to like pitch the shoes to like a sporting goods store, and like he's like it'll give you a good leap, and like he does like this little jump for basketball, and all the store reps are looking, and they just walk away.
these big Foot Locker guys all standing around little chubby George. Yeah. Yeah,
But
Jimmy's slipping on Kramer's water. That was good. Jimmy's going into traction.
Jimmy holds grudges.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so good. But oh, that's
Nice.
also another great line is because Jerry's about to go to Watley, so he's brushing his teeth in the gym. He's like, "Oh," Kramer says, "Oh, you can't brush your teeth before you go to the dentist," and he saes, "No, I think you mean you can't eat before you have surgery. Oh,
Oh
you got to eat
yes.
before surgery. You need your
You need
strength."
your strength.
All
Oh
right, so
man.
the Jimmy.
Okay, here we go. This is my top three now. Here we go. Top three. Season 5, The Cigar Store Indian.
That was on my short list.
Oh man. Hey Jerry, look what I got. I just
Winona.
maybe by today's standards might not have aired the way it was, right? But this is the TV guy. This is the guy that's ogling Elaine, like
This is a good
the
one.
gyro dripping in the TV guide, the bouquet he makes with TV guide. It's so much gold here. It's just like Elaine. And he like finds her, like doesn't he come across Elaine at Frank's house? Is that how that
because
plays out?
she has the Costanza's TV guide
That's right.
because there was nothing to read, so she just grabbed one of Frank's TV guides.
That's right. And the other subplot that's great here. This is a really good episode. This is actually a 4 star according to this. Was how George's parents are gone, and he brings the girl back, and she's like looking around. Oh, you have lots of pictures of yourself, like as a kid. Yeah. What are we listening to? Oh, this is the Ray Conniff singer.
They got some prune juice.
Yeah, that's right. The prune juice. Oh man. But yeah,
That's it. You're grounded.
yeah, I like this episode a lot. Um, the mailman aspect of things. If someone asks me which way is Israel, I don't fly off the handle. Oh man,
It's so
yeah,
good.
there's a lot there, and this is where Kramer comes up with the idea for the coffee table book. Yeah,
Yeah, because he's able to get it published because he meets Lippman in the store, right?
that's right. That's right. Where he buys a cigar store Indian kind of thing, right?
And
That
carries it.
Lippman's
He's like, if you carry it to my office, and like
yes.
he's there like smoking the cigar,
Oh man. Yeah.
and he's
Anyway,
like,
so that's a good one for me.
Lippman looks at Elaine. He's like, these are the kind of ideas you need to be
Oh
having.
yeah. After she had already shot it down or something.
It's so
A
good.
coffee table book about coffee tables. I thought it was brilliant. Like later on when he does it on the Regis and
Reed
Kathy
just
Lee and he flips the legs out from underneath it. If you don't have a coffee table.
and Reed just like he's like, where's mine? He's like, oh, it's coming. He's like, I've got it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's on file. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, season 5 again, man. This is
Okay.
they were all within the same with like the sniffing accountant, the bris, and now season 5, episode 7. And these probably are my top 3 in some order. The
Okay.
non-fat yogurt.
Yeah.
I love this episode. It's so ridiculous because they incorporate the politics of the city with the
Yep.
the the mayoral election with Dinkins and Giuliani, and they apparently had like recorded 2 different endings in case the election went one way or the other.
No
Like,
way.
yeah, so whichever one lost, like the other one was going to be doing the cameos in the show. So like Giuliani and Dinkins both filmed for it, and they just used Giuliani's because of how the election ended up. Um, but obviously, again, that's the first instance of Lloyd Braun. It's the one and only time by that original actor. Um, and one of the, one of the best things about that is Newman and the other postal workers sitting there all gathered around, like, not working. And Newman says the line, another round of strawberry for me and my friends.
That's the best. That is the best part of the episode.
And then he
I
does that
love it.
laugh. And Kramer starts to date. He goes out with the scientist. They want to
Oh
check to
yeah.
see if there's fat.
This is in
And
case it's a tie. And he like makes it.
this is in case of it. And like he kicks again, and like the blood, like the,
Yeah.
the, the sample goes to the
Tips
blood.
in. Yeah. Oh man.
But
Unreal.
and then that's when Jerry is like cursing around the kid, and like he like reveals, like he's like as a comedian we don't use those words, and you shouldn't either if you want to be a comedian. And then like
Yeah,
Jerry
yeah.
leaves for a second, and he grabs the tape like a little butt, and he's
Oh.
pulling the tape.
Yeah, what are you doing? You stupid little shit, or whatever he says. Yeah.
And the kid's just
Oh man.
and he was such the
Yeah.
perfect like bratty kid.
God. Yeah, that was a pretty good one, wasn't it? I forgot about that whole aspect. Jerry's swearing, which is so uncharacteristic, right? Like even as a comedian, like he is not a
Yeah,
swearing guy. When you've seen
right.
him twice now live, right?
Yeah,
Has he swore on either occasion?
he doesn't drop f-bombs. It's kind of like his
Okay.
max.
Yeah.
So like he'll like pepper a few words, but he's against like f-bombs in comedy because for him he said like that's when like people like Rodney Dangerfield like went downhill when they like he thought like cheapened their act.
Yeah,
um
yeah.
but yeah, but anyway, yeah, non-fat yogurt, it's so good. And then Newman at the end is eating and he's like I was enjoying myself. But anyway, non-fat yogurt in my top 3.
Okay. This is my number 2. This is number 2, season 5 again. The marine biologist.
Of
And
course.
this starts out and ends with something so like not related to the episode at all that I friggin' love. Elaine's on the phone and Jerry's just being an ass. He's like, Elaine, you see this shirt? This is Golden Boy. Touch Golden Boy. Golden Boy is the first shirt of the wash, blah, blah, blah. But you see, Golden Boy is slowly dying. It's just so
Every
Golden Boy is
wash.
some Woolite. It's just, no, that's why he's the Iron Man. He goes out there and he plays every game. Rinse, spin.
How do you know
And
all
then
that?
at the end of the episode, it's like, you see, and she's like, Golden Boy didn't make it. But this is Golden Boy's. What does he say? Like this is
Brother,
Golden Boy's son, Baby Blue, or
baby
something
blue.
like that. Yes. I think that is just absolute brilliant. It's just a character to another character being an ass and a weirdo, right? Just being silly to his friends. And then of course the actual marine biologist, the way it ties in with Kramer and the golfing, the golf ball. Is that a Titleist? Yeah, well, yeah, like
Hole in one.
a hole in one, right? Yeah.
Which that
So
was the longest. That was the longest laugh on Seinfeld. Was when he revealed the golf ball
oh,
from
really?
the
Eh?
audience. Yeah,
That's
because
cool. I like that.
Kramer's just like he's just like blankly staring like this.
Yes. I love the way that they're watching him tell the story. And my favorite quote is probably top 3 things that George ever said. The sea was angry that day, my friends, like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli. Like, and Jerry's like, what?
Jerry,
Yeah,
I was what does he say? Like I was locking eyes with the great fish, mammal,
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, he shrugs it off. Let me tell my story the way I want to tell it.
I said, "Easy, big fella."
Yeah. Kramer's just like locked in. He's like, this is
Well,
a
all right,
great
George, finish the
story.
story. Because Elaine comes in
Man.
late.
Uh,
And then like he's like, I came back, I kissed her. I've never seen anybody look more beautiful. And it was at
and
that
in that
moment
moment, yeah.
I told her that I was not a marine biologist. What did she do? She told me to go to hell, and I took the subway.
Yeah.
And then Jerry goes, "All right."
Yeah, yeah, that just like brushes it off. Whatever. It's another week of weirdness.
Another breakup.
Yeah. Oh man. Why couldn't you make me an architect? You know, I always wanted to pretend I was an architect. Yeah. No, that was always like historically my first, second, or third favorite episode. I thought that was just brilliant. Anyway.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got?
All right, top two, and these are my top two for sure in order. Number two is going to be the soup, not the soup Nazi, the soup
Which one's
with
that?
Banya. So that's going to be
Oh,
season 6, episode 7. The soup's not a meal bit
yeah.
where he's got this, Armani suit that he is willing to just give to Jerry, no strings attached, and then he brings it to Jerry's apartment, and Jerry's annoyed because he hates Banya, who's really a nice guy, just really annoying.
Yeah.
And Kramer's like, "Wow, it's an Armani suit, Jerry." He's like, "You not paying for that?" And he's like, "Y'all gotta at least take him out to dinner.
Oh,
You
yes.
can't get a better deal than that." All
Oh,
right, you
God.
can take me to dinner sometime.
Ah,
And then
soup.
we go to
I forgot
Mindy's.
about that.
And so like he goes to the restaurant, it's a fancy restaurant, and he orders. He's like, "I'll just have a soup. Yeah, I'll save the meal for another time." And he's like, "What other time?" He's like, "I had a hot dog earlier. I'm not hungry." No, this is it. And then later they meet up at Monk's. He shows up uninvited, and he's like, "I'll have a tuna on toast." He's like, "All
Yeah.
right, this is it.
Yeah,
Stock up."
that's right. He like tells him this, like he like forces him to acknowledge this is
You're
the
supposed to
meal.
take me to a nice restaurant like Mindy's. I did. I said, "Have whatever you want."
Mendy's.
And
I
he's
wonder
like,
if there is a Mendy's.
I used to be a 40, now I'm a 42.
I'm huge.
Look at me, I'm huge. I'm working out.
I love it. I
And then,
forgot
and then
about that.
he brings it up later, like a couple episodes later, when Kramer is shopping on like Madison Avenue, and he's like, "That's a nice suit." And then he's like, He's like, I'm huge. Like he says it again, like at the store where he offers to buy Kramer's suit. He's like, surely you jest.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Uh,
what's the other thing? Oh yeah, like that's the whole like Hildy storyline with Kramer. Kramer keeps going to Jerry's food because his girlfriend gets hungry all the time.
yes.
Um, uh, what a, that's the thing with this one is like I love that storyline so much. Like I don't even remember the other. Um, that's like when George is dating. That's like the manure joke with the waitress. It's which is like one of the dumbest. To me, that's one of the dumbest jokes in the whole show is where he's like, it's a ma with a newer ma newer. It's really nice when you
Oh
think about
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And she's like, my boyfriend has that same watch. And then he walks in the horse poo. He's like, oh, you stepped in it. He's like, yes, I sure did.
I gotta rewatch it. I forgot about the whole banya soup thing. I even read over it, but I didn't pick up on all the
Yeah,
whole Mendy's. That
yeah,
was
it's supposed to be
really
a nice
good.
restaurant. It's the best swordfish in the city, Jerry. The
Oh,
best.
the
He's
best.
like, I'll have this. I'll have the chicken or whatever he says.
God.
So that's my number two. I love that. I love that whole thing where this is not dinner. It's supposed to be a
Yep.
nice restaurant.
Okay. No,
That's also that's the whole thing. Kramer's eating fresh foods, and that's why he's going over there because he had the kidney stone in the
that's
episode
right.
before.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's probably a whole like you could do. I'm sure maybe there's something out there, a great compilation of just Kramer taking the food of the various episodes of what he's grabbing and the comments that Jerry might make or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
The stuff that comes out of Jerry's fridge when George has like no glasses and he bites into an onion. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of good food related humor that kind of just goes unnoticed there. But
yeah.
okay, my number one
Number
episode.
one.
My number one episode, it's a no-brainer for me. It always will be number one. I think the last part of this episode when Jerry goes on this rant, it was is absolute gold. Do you know what it is?
No.
100%, it is the switch, the roommate switch.
Wow.
I friggin' think that Jerry's little diatribe at the end about what it means to be an orgy guy is so friggin' hilarious, ahead
That's
of its
right.
time and spot on. Like I gotta get a lot of thick carpeting and weirdo lighting and lots of robes and lotions and
I have to
I
grow
gotta
a
get new friends.
mustache.
I gotta get orgy friends and like just that alone. And like it's a great depiction of the two of them, having a like mastermind kind of way out of a situation like them like the little scene
The
with them in the
overhead
coffee
shot.
shop with
Oh,
yeah, with doing all the sugar and the coffee and like
George with a tip. He looks at the receipt and hands it to Jerry.
and then like that is also the episode where you find out the word Cosmo, right? That
Oh yeah.
is so that's a pretty big thing too. This is when George's super like his model girlfriend is allegedly barfing in the bathroom after meals. Of course I'm concerned. I'm paying for those meals. Like just another heartless thing, right? And yeah, but it's the Minaj stuff. Oh, Mr. Pitt's tennis racket for Elaine, that kind of falls out of the equation. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Like it's just it it depicts what I love most about the show when they're just working on a societal problem like that. It's a very Larry David kind of episode where they're,
Yeah.
you know, talking about something like that and working at it. Just yeah. Do you ever thank God that you know me and have access to my dementia? Like yeah. Oh, who are you kidding? You couldn't do it either. He's like, I know. She's into it. Yeah. So I thought
I
that
do,
was brilliantly done. Yeah.
I do love the tennis racket thing where she goes back to try to like that's because she goes back to try to like steal a tennis racket, right? And
Yes.
like the
Yeah.
assistant, he's like, what are you doing here? It's like, well, that's my racket. I need to take it back. And he's like, but he goes, I'm sorry, you can't do that. No, 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 no,
No, no, no,
no.
no, no. Yeah, yeah.
And then she's like, you don't have to tell Mr. Pitt about that. I don't have to, but I will.
But I will.
He like looks her up and down.
Yeah. Awesome. That's it. That is my number one. A couple outliers here. We talked about the outing. The implant was one for me. The bottle deposit, I think that's great.
Oh
And
yeah, Norman.
yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. Oh, and Bizarro Jerry was another one. Just there's a good couple sub
Yeah.
stories in that one that are really good. But yeah. Okay, what do you got? Where is it? I
All
don't know
right.
what it's gonna be. I have no idea.
I'll do a couple little teases for me.
Okay.
What's frustrating about this episode is it's got one of the most annoying, like, you know, two off characters in the whole series in this episode. But it's to me, it's the best Frank and Kramer meet up or team up on an episode, and the George story on this is absolutely phenomenal and so dumb.
Is this the
But
raincoat? What is this?
so we're we're
Give
gonna
me a
go
clue. What season?
season 7.
Season 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, it's got so many great characters in it. But the whole Kramer and Frank storyline in this is just fantastic. It's an episode I often quote to you, probably ad nauseum.
oh man, it's not the showerhead because that's a Kramer and Newman one. Oh man, what is it? What is it?
It's going to be the Doll, episode 17 of season
Oh,
7.
yes, yes. Okay, yes, yes.
So
The doll that looks like George's mom or whatever. Yeah.
you have the Estelle doll. It belongs to Susan. And
Oh, yeah,
so,
that's right. And Kramer and even Frank starts yelling at it. Yes.
but that's also the pool room, which is my all-time favorite Seinfeld scene of Kramer and Frank in the pool
You
room.
know where it's going.
You know where it's going. I've got a hunch fat man I can't miss, which is a line from the movie The Hustler with Paul Newman. And the two of them playing in that small room with the like that sequence of them trying to hit the balls and Kramer is like scuffing the walls. The pool cue grabs like the triangle rack and, and he's hitting it and Frank's like holding the stick going like
None of them care that the room is too small. It's like that is the brilliant aspect of it is that they don't like complain about the room. They're just so grateful they have this boys club type room.
And then I like Frank goes at one time he's just very serious. He goes, "You like to gamble, Cosmo?"
Yeah, super serious.
And then he's like, "Yeah, I like to gamble." And then he's doing like the chalk on the cue. But then obviously they come up with the maestro who, Elaine's trying to get the signature from the guy from the Three Tenors.
Yes.
Because she screwed up the last poster. And so then like they end up meeting up with the maestro. So they're trying to like, convince him to like come over. And that's when they mention the whole place to be with Frank. He's like, "What did you call it? The not the place to be. The place to be."
Yeah.
And then Maestro kind of goes, like that's intriguing to go to this old man's house in Queens.
And the other thing, I think we talked about this the other day. Like the other part of that episode that I love, and super minor details when they talk about the pants, not and then Frank's reaction to hearing the explanation for the pants. Like, oh. It's just like leave those hands in the air like it's this heavenly revelation.
But then the maestro's in the room. He goes, he's so dramatic with his voice, like, "I'm gonna go out for some air." And then Kramer finds the baton, and then he hits it. He's like, "Oh, giddy up!" And then that's when he says, "You know where it's going." And then, it's just like constant shots of him hitting it. But yeah.
Well, the thing is, they break it and they tape it.
So at the
he
end,
doesn't notice till he's at the end.
And Elaine's sneaking out. And then I like when Jerry is like, was like at the Tonight Show or something, and Jerry's got no pants on, and like Elaine kind of is like that, and Jerry kind of does like that, his hands up, like, "Look what I'm doing."
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole thing, and then George with the doll. sitting at the coffee shop. Like he's got the doll propped up like on a,
That's right. Yeah.
and she's like, "Why are you wearing that?" Like it's talking to him. She's
Yeah.
like, "Why are you wearing that shirt? You've had it for 5 years already."
I like this shirt.
He's like, "I like the shirt." He's like, all right," and he takes it.
Oh my
But
God.
he's like laying there with Susan, and she's like the doll's right there, and he's like kissing Susan, but looking at the doll, like putting the
Oh,
pillow over its face.
you know, oh God.
And that's another one of those things where Estelle comes into the pool room later. They're all in their underwear. Kramer and Frank, he's like showing them how to use it, and the maestro is like listening to classical music, and she's got the beer and the popcorn, which is like the same reaction she has with the man's ear, where she walks in on him, and
That's right.
it's
Oh my
so good.
God.
But the
Yeah,
doll is my
that's
favorite
good.
episode. Yeah.
You know, this is totally, I should have said this earlier. It's not even all that important, but just because you brought up Susan, I thought about this. I actually wrote it down yesterday because I laughed my ass off when I came across it. Was I think it was the episode whenever, I don't know what season it was, but it was basically whenever George proposed and he got engaged and he was mad at Jerry for not getting engaged. And then like they all go to the movies, but George and Susan go see a different movie than Kramer and or Jerry and this other guy. I think they go see like Death Blow or something, and they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, he's out there hanging out the helicopter and shooting." And he's like, "What movie are you going to see, George?" And he's like, "The name of the movie just killed me." And then the two actresses in it just made it that much more of a sell for how like you're with your spouse and you have to go see the spouse movie versus like the boys action
Yeah,
movie. The
yeah.
name of the movie was called The Muted Heart with Glenn Close and Sally Field.
Doesn't Jerry kind of say like, he's like, it's
Oh,
Death Blow.
yeah, yes.
The muted heart.
The Muted Heart.
It's like some like terrible like romantic like drama.
Exactly. They couldn't have chosen a better name for it. Especially juxtaposed with Death Blow. Like what the hell? Anyway,
A
so
couple of
that's it.
mine that
That's
didn't make
that's the
it.
10 episodes. We didn't have any overlap,
No,
which is
none.
kind of nice.
Some of the ones that you mentioned that were on my list. I had the cigar store Indian was on mine. Um, One of the ones for me that I didn't bring up was the Slicer. I love that episode from season
I
9
almost put that, yeah.
where they airbrush George out.
Yeah.
The Secret Codes, which like the Bosco,
Bosco.
Bizarro Jerry. I think you mentioned in your honorable mentions. The Wig Master, I think is hilarious with like the Technicolor Dream Coat.
Yeah,
The
the
Calzone.
whole pimp thing. The calzone was a good one, yeah. Yeah,
The early three that I had that I didn't make it. I said the jacket earlier from season 2,
yeah,
but also the library with Bookman,
yeah.
and then the Bubble Boy, which
I
is
had
just
that on a
like,
short list too, yeah.
yeah, that's when George.
Oops.
They cut away to George driving. He's like, why is he driving? Like, where is he going? And like it's like
Yeah,
George just like speeding. He's like, we're making great time.
yeah, I love it.
They're the Bubble Boy with the Moors and the Moops, and he looks
Yeah.
at Susan. He says, "What's your story?" So, what's your story?
That's right. Why don't you like unbutton your shirt or something like that? He like totally tips
And
on her.
she kind of like does like this.
Yeah. Oh
It's got
man.
Brian Doyle Murray as the dad.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
lots of episodes, but yeah, this was good.
my face hurts. This is awesome. Thank you for
Well,
whoever those people are that are actually watching this, but
some people
it
stayed
was
on the whole
basically
time.
it was basically just an opportunity for us to have a focused conversation on our most number one mutual passion aside from music is like I don't know anyone that knows Seinfeld as well as you do. So I can I can throw out the most remote friggin' quote and you're gonna know exactly what it is.
That's
That's
you.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. So that
No.
was this was long overdue. And whoever suffered through this, God bless you.
Well, again, we'll see. We'll see. I know we had talked maybe at some other time. We'll see about doing like a character, rundown of just not even maybe like a ranking. Just bring up like all these like random like one off, two off characters.
In my mind, I'm already there. I'll leave on a high note.
Leave on a high note. Coco. Yeah.
That was
but
another great one. It's
that's
like
so good.
Coco
Yeah,
Monkey. That was
well,
brilliant too. I don't know what episode that was, but it was like
that's season
he tried
9.
so hard to be T-Bone, and then they just gave it to the guy right next to him. I would also like a T-Bone. Oh, you like one? Well, we should call you T-Bone.
T-Bone.
Hey, no T-Bone.
And George is out there like with the banana.
uh,
Yeah. Anyway,
all
yeah,
right.
there could be another episode of Seinfeld stuff. I would be all in for it because I feel like there's a lot to talk about. And if
Yeah.
anybody wants to comment later, because I know some people were going to watch it after, which again, God bless you, but stay on for a second.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for tuning in and the few comments we had. Y'all are saints. But
Awesome.
all right, bye everybody. And